I see there's a few more learners coming in. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everybody. At this point, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you, and it's wonderful that we are able to gather 4 schools this morning for this event. My name is Inayat, and we are from Salam Media, as you can see from the banner, and we have brought Abeer Zayyad, who is from Jerusalem, as our guest, and she's been on a countrywide tour talking about Palestine, talking about her people, talking about the dangers, and talking about the sacrifices and the struggles that they have in Jerusalem. Now, it's wonderful that we are able to meet up with all of you, I believe, from Wolop, Alexander, Al-Azhar, and Nasruddin. So these are the 4 schools. We welcome you, and we appreciate all of you and your schools giving you time out to attend this event this morning. Now, I'm not going to be talking for much long because my guest Abeer Zayyad is here, and we're also going to give you an opportunity to ask questions. I just want a show of hands. Who of you have been to Palestine? Anyone that has been to Palestine? We've got a hand at the back. Any of the learners? Well, none of you, but I do believe that it does cover your syllabus at school as well. Many of you may have learned of the Nakba. And yesterday, being May the 15th, was the commemoration of the Nakba, 75 years of the Nakba. And I'm sure this morning's event and what our guest has to say will go a long way in assisting you, in informing you, in enlightening you, and conscientizing you about what is taking place in Palestine. So we'd like to begin with the program, and we will call upon Muawiyah from Nasruddin, who will recite the opening chapter of the Quran, and thereafter we're going to have Alexander. I believe there are 5 learners who will be singing the national anthem. So if you can get yourself ready as well. But right now, Muawiyah, if you could come on stage, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى وإن تجهر بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى وهل أتاك حديث موسى إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى فلما أتاها نودي يا موسى إني أنا ربك فاخلع عليك إنك بالوادي المقدس طوى وأنا اخترتك فاستمع لما يوحى إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فترضى وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى صدق الله العظيم.
Well, we thank you, Muawiyah, for that beautiful recitation. And would like to now call upon the learners from Alexander to lead us into the national anthem. And if all of you could join in as well, please.
Okay.
Yes, if everybody could stand up, please. Thank you.
I'm here together, man. Afrikaans patuur. Kan we maar zo zeggen together, man. Shh. Respect, man. Don't know that. Don't ever.
Kosikeleli Afrika malupakanyisu pondo lwayo ifa emithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo Irena muruka sitshaba ska Yesu Mufeti sendita emajwe usimuruke simuruke sitshaba ska South Africa En die blauw van onze herde, en die diepe van ons jeugd. Ons jeugd gebeurde, want ik was half ons jeugd. So do so to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us still strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Yes, well done to the Alexander School for leading us into the national anthem. And it is about Kosi Sikeleli Africa and asking the Almighty to protect and to save Africa. And this is why we are here today, is to highlight Palestine. And we must have the same prayer for Palestine about the Almighty protecting, saving Palestine and the people of Palestine. And when we talk about the people of Palestine, they've always looked on us as people of South Africa, having come through the ugly past of apartheid and racism. But let me tell you, what is taking place in Palestine is 100 times worse. Our apartheid is mild compared to what is taking place in Palestine. So I'm going to now give the mic to our guest, our honored guest, and put your hands together for Sister Abeer Zayyad. She is an archaeologist. She does tours of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and she's done a lot of wonderful work in terms of NGOs, in terms of social work, taking care of the needs of her people. So, Sister Abeer, all over to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Mileno, I hope that I pronounce it correct. Mileno? Molena. Morena. Sorry for that. I'm trying. So, my name is Abeer Zayyad. I'm archaeologist. I'm from Jerusalem, Palestine. I grew up there. I born there. All my ancestors born there. So today I will try to take you to try to understand what is going on there, and when it start, how it start, what the situation today, and what we can do. So I would like to start with something that had been said by Nelson Mandela, when he said that South Africa will never enjoy freedom unless Palestine have a freedom. Nelson Mandela have a full view about what was going on there, and he understanding everything there. And this is why he said that. Any person like Nelson Mandela believe in a humanity, believe of a freedom, he will stand next to Palestinian people. So the story of Palestine, that Palestine is a country that is very holy for a lot of religion. And it's a place that people live for in harmony for long, long years, without any kind of races, without any kind of problems. It was okay to practice your religion, to have a freedom of movement. All of this stopped once in 1917, when the British occupied us. The British, when they occupied us, they decide that we are not exist as a Palestinian, and that our country has somehow it's empty from us, and they would like to give it for a gift for Zionist movement, which was in Europe. Of course, we understand all the struggle that had been happening to Jewish people in Europe, and we know all the things that is happening against them in Europe. But it happened against them in Europe, not in Palestine. So it does not make sense that we're supposed to pay the price for what the European had done. So even that, our land was given as a gift for Zionists. So the percentage of Jew in that time in Palestine was less than 2%. But even that, they promised to take our homeland, that the British say that it's without any people. So the British occupied us, and they start preparing our land to be given for Zionists. How they prepare it to give it to the Zionists? Start attacking the Palestinian, attacking the villages, killing from us, destroying our economy, and at the same time helping the immigration from Europe, from Morocco, from all the world, for Zionists to come to live in our country, and giving them all kind of support, from military support, money, business, everything. So they was preparing our country for them. We started to do revolution, refusing what the British are doing against us. So we have a huge revolution in 1930, in 1921, in 1936. And a lot of us had been killed by the British during all these revolutions. At the end, in 1948, the country was ready. The Zionists was already have armies, Palestinian without any kind of weapons, the British army standing with the Zionists, and they start the huge attack for villages. So they erased completely 500 villages from earth. They done massacres in a lot of villages. Some villages we does not have even a record for how many people was killed in that. So we does not have even record for how many people was killed in these villages. Till today, each few years we discover another tomb that we have 100 or couples, different numbers of people was killed in the same time, and no one know about them. Thank you. And they kick out a lot of Palestinian, almost 2/3 of the Palestinian was kicked out of Palestine. And they take over and they started their country that they call it Israel. And they continue doing this in 1967. They take over the rest of Palestine, and also they make the killing, and also they erase some villages from earth, and they kick people out. So the whole world watched what happened in 1948 and did not say anything. The whole world see what happened in 1967 and no one say anything. So till today, we are suffering from this occupation. So to make it more clear, what is going on exactly in Palestine now? And how is it alive because of this occupation? So when they occupied us in 1948, the people who stay alive in the villages or in the cities that they take over, they was not allowed to have any connection with any Muslims or Arabs or Palestinian or whatever in the whole world. So they was just eliminated from everybody. And after that, they was giving them an Israel citizen. And for till the 70s, it was not allowed for them to have any connection with any other Palestinian. So they was in small areas, and that's it. The 1967 area, when they occupied it, they make it 3 sections. One section is Gaza Strip, another section, the West Bank, and the third section is Jerusalem. So Gaza Strip was giving them a different identity card in the beginning, and West Bank a different identity card, and Jerusalem a different identity card. And each group supposed to live in their area, and it's not allowed for us to move from one area to another or to live in a different area. And each one have a different rule, different color of the identity card, different treatment. So they separated us completely from each other. Like you remember, you study about apartheid. And you know that there was area for white people, area for black people, area for Indian, the same. So there is area for each group from us. Of course, this is different than the area which is for the Zionist. So each one of us have their own struggle, their own problem. But to continue that, a lot of people, if you think that they're Palestinian, all of them are Muslims. And that they think that the problem is just against Muslims, and it's not correct. In fact, the Palestinians have different religions. We have the Muslims, we have the Christian, we have another religion called Durzim. I don't think that we have this religion at all here. And we have also tiny religions, and also we have Jewish. So there is a Palestinian Jew also. So all these Palestinians from different religion are under this apartheid system. And all of them facing the same problems. Just to understand that Jerusalem, before 1948, the percentage of a Christian in whole Jerusalem was 40%. When they occupied Jerusalem, part from Jerusalem in 1948, and they killed the people and kicked the people out of Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, the percentage of a Christian dropped down from 40 to 20. So when they occupied us in 1967, the percentage of a Christian was 20%. Today, the percentage of a Christian in Jerusalem is 2%. A lot of people hearing about the attacking of the mosque, but does not know about the attacking for the churches or what is going on inside the churches. There is no month pass without being one of the churches attacked by Zionists. And they try to burn some of the most important churches that we have, like the Gqeberha church where Jesus was arrested, like the first station for Jesus, where the court of Jesus was just before less than 2 months was attacked by one of the Zionists. And Christian and Muslims are taking the responsibility of protecting the churches and the mosques. And you will see in the videos, in some films, how they are attacking the Muslims while they are praying inside the mosque. But you need to watch also how they are attacking the Christian at the entrance of the Holy Sepulchre Church, especially in Easter and other holidays. So these things, they do not show it for you in the media. They want you to think that it's a Muslim issue. It's a problem between religions. It's not like that. It's an occupation, colonism. This is the problem. Taking a land from a people and to give it to another people, it does not make any sense. Does not have any connection with religion. Our problem is not with Judaism, because we have, as I said from the beginning, that we have a Jewish Palestinian. And also they are facing problems like the Jewish who are living in Nablus, or even Naturi Karta, who are living in Jerusalem, and they are refusing the Israel occupation. So even the Palestinian Jews does not want the occupation, and they does not want the races. Zionists are a racist community that they want to evacuate all the people who are living in Palestine and just to make it a land for them. So what the excuse that they use it to do that? The excuse that they use it to do that, and from the beginning of the Zionist movement, the excuse is archaeology, history. They say that before 3,000 years, that Bani Israel, the Jewish in that time, before 3,000 years, that they occupied Palestine and they control it before 3,000 years. Of course, from archaeological point of view, there is no proof at all for this occupation. But let's say that there was occupation. England itself was occupied before 2,000 years by Rome, Italy. Yes, you know that. Do you think that Italy now have the right to occupy England again and kick the England out from their country because they occupied them once? Most of African country was occupied by European country. And this is a fact. Do you think any country was occupied in a different country, like for example, let's say Italy was occupying Libya? Does they have the right to come to kick people out now because they occupied them once? So why it's okay to occupy us? Because they occupied us once. And even then, there is no archaeological evidence for that. And to say that there was a Jewish in Palestine and the percentage of Jew in time of history was huge. Yes. 500 BC, Judaism religion was famous in Palestine, and third of the Palestinian was Jew. So after that, Christianity became popular religion, and the majority of Palestinians become Christian. After that, the majority of Palestinians shift to Islam. So changing your religion does not changing your ethnic, and does not changing your right in your country. So how it's okay for a person, because of his religion, to come to take my homeland from me because he are having the, let's say like this, you know Swedish, yes? Swedes have a different religion before Christianity, which is the religion of the Vikings. So if any one of you now decide to become in the same religion of the Vikings, does he have the right to go to live in Sweden and to kick the Swedish people out because they become Christian? So it does not make sense. And you know that most of the Judaism people today, the people who are Jewish today, most of them have become Jewish, especially the European one, become Jew in the 15th century. So they does not have any connection with the Jewish who was live in Palestine 500 BC. So there is no human being can accept these kind of things. So why word is silence because of that? The thing that it's a colonialism that was created by British to serve British, and now they are serving the interests of America. And they have the unlimited support from America for what they are doing. And you will never see them, anyone discuss about the thing that is happening against us. Now Ukrainians are occupied by Russian. And everybody is supporting Ukrainian and accept the fight of the Ukrainian against the Russian occupation. And they support them. And they never saying about any one of the Ukrainian who fight against Russia that he's a terrorist. And they will never refuse his fight. So why any one of Palestinian, if he try to protect or try to fight back, he called a terrorist? Why is not accepted that we fight for our freedom and is accepted for other countries? And in fact, if you have one of the interview of Nelson Mandela about this issue, and they ask him about that and that he's refusing the support of America to Israel, and that he refused to accept Israel as a country, and he considered it as an occupation and as apartheid. He was very clear that he, as a freedom, the person have a freedom. He have the right to think and to decide for himself. And that's what, as America want, is not what we want, is not what we can decide. We know what is going on. And we refusing this as we was refusing what is happening in South Africa. So sometime how the people, how the history is introduced for you is completely different than the correct things that is happening. I know it's a lot of information to be taking, but it's very important also to understand what people are going through. For example, now one of the new Israel minister, his name is Mortish, he go to the Israel parliament, which called Knesset, in a new law that he does not want to allow for any Christian to speak about his religion, to discuss his religion. You can imagine a land of a Christianity, the land of Jesus, is not allowed for a Christian to discuss about their religion. So the thing that is going there is colonialism, apartheid, racism, against anyone who are not Zionist, even if he was a Jew. So this is very, very important to understand. I hope that I give you a good introduction to understand what is going on. And I'm very happy and glad to hear any question that you have, and I will try my best to answer your question. Thank you.
Well, we thank Abeer Zayyad for enlightening you to an extent, but there's just so much more, and I'm sure many of you have got questions. I mean, having grown up as a refugee herself, you know what it's been like being a child, going through schooling, and I'm sure that there are many, many questions that you have. And remember, there are children that are also not safe. There are many children that are languishing like yourselves in prison, from young ages, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old children that are in prison as well. So if you go onto YouTube, and you will actually see, you will be shocked as to see how young children like yourselves are being treated. So we're going to open up the floor for questioning. And any question, remember, there's no right or wrong question. Anything you'd like to know, please, we've got a mic there. Just, lift up your hand and you can ask your question.
Who would like to start?
You don't have to be shy, really. You don't have to be shy. I think there is a hand coming up at the back.
Do I really have to stand up? Can I talk when I'm sitting down?
Ibrahim, if you can ask him to come to the front, please, so we can hear the question. Bring the mic to the front.
Yeah,
I think that mic is meant for live streaming because
Hello.
that mic is meant for live streaming. Am I right? If you could come in the front, please. Come through to the front. Don't be shy. Come right through the front.
No. I have a question. I don't want to
Okay.
be on live camera. Okay, does it work? Okay. Okay, so do I really have to stand up? Will the camera? It's on. Yeah, it's on. Okay. Greetings to everyone that's present. My question is, now that we've heard the information, we've heard about everything, what role do we have to play? What happens next? Because yes, we've heard about what's going on in Palestine, but us as learners or us as South Africans, what role or what can we do?
It's very important first to understand what is going on. And after that, you can start doing a pressure on the Israel government, a new government, to take action against what is going on in Palestine. As much as you acting and you're practicing this refusing for this apartheid, like for example, by cutting anyone is supporting the Zionist movement. If you start doing this, it will put pressure on this apartheid system to be finished. Exactly, you remember what was, if you read the history of South Africa and you hear what was happening in other country to support the South African people, is the same that we are asking now to be happen. So learn from your history what people, what other country, what other people was doing to support South Africa and do it to support Palestine.
Yes, more shows of hands, please. Anyone else? Here's a hand up here. You can just...
Greetings, everyone. My question is, so Christianity wasn't allowed at all. So does that mean in Palestine that as a Christian you had to convert to Muslim and it was a must?
Who say that?
No, sorry, that is what I thought you meant when you said that.
No. Christians are not abandoning in Palestine at all. We are, and the Christian, we are one. And we protecting together the churches, the mosque. No one is forcing Christian to change their religion. It's not like that. We say that one of the Israeli new racist ministers, he put a new law for vote in the Knesset to not allow for a Christian to speak about their religion. This is a new law that they want to put it. And also before that, they try to put taxes on churches in a way to put more debt on the churches so they can take the land of the churches. And we protest, Muslims anti-Christian, against that till we stop that. We closed the Holy Sepulchre Church for a week, and we was praying Muslims and the Christian in front of the church till we stop this law that Israel want to put it, and we protect the churches. Most of the time when they attack the churches, Muslims are the one who stand to protect the church from being burned. So no, we as Palestinian, Muslims and Christians, we respect all religions and we do not have a problem with your faith. As I told you, we have a lot of faith, but the thing for us that you can't attack a person depending on his ethnic or his religion and to make one person much better than the other. We Muslims and the Christian, we are one. So no one of us is forcing anyone to change his religion. Thank you.
Right.
Hi. You mentioned that there are three sections, that Palestine was divided into three sections, right? Four. Oh, sorry, my bad. But so I was wondering, are you all united as those four different sections? Is there like a political party that is fighting against the Israelite government? Is there any like formal party?
We are united, of course, against occupation, but for political party, we have a lot of political party, more than what we need. And this is one of the problems that we are facing, because each political party have a different point of view how to fight, how some they want it without weapons, some they want it with weapons. So each one have a different point of view how to fight. And if you go even to your history, even your political party have different opinions. Some of you was asking for fighting with weapons, some was asking for a peace way. So each one was in a different way of how to achieve the goal, but the goal is one. And the same for us, the goal is one, but we have different point of view how would you achieve it. But all of us, of course, against this occupation.
So you mentioned that we can offer support or rather get involved in whatever going on in Palestine. Now say that our government gets involved. Is it fit to protect us? Because if we do get involved, won't we be setting ourselves as targets also to the Israel government?
I don't think the Israel government is a Superman. I don't think that they are Superman. They are like any other country, and they do not have power as much as you think. And they can't, in fact, doing such things for the whole countries. They have a lot of countries that they are boycotting Israel, and if this increase the number, it just help the Palestinian, but you will not be in danger at all.
Yes, and just the answer to your question, as far as the South African government is concerned, the ANC government supports Palestine, and we've also seen recently our Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, issue a statement, and this is a matter that has gone through to Parliament. There has been a vote with regard to downgrading the embassy and also working on issues like Palestinians coming to South Africa without visas. And so these are issues that the South African government is attending to. And to a large extent, the government has been supportive of the Palestinian cause.
I wanted to ask about like the funding from America and like the ANC. We still get funding also from America. So how do we stay on good terms with America while we disagree with the funding to Israel to attack the Palestinians? And how will South Africa improve to not take funding from America to support the Palestinians?
I think I'm not the correct person to answer this.
I think we need to understand what funding actually means in the sense. As far as funding of Israel is concerned, it is open and it is blatant. It is funded by America. The government is funded, the military is funded in every way with a express purpose of the oppression and the occupation of Palestine. You will recall Donald Trump even unilaterally declaring Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and that is without the rest of it. So America has been very open in their support, and irrespective of which government, whether it's a Democrat or the Republican government in America, they've declared their open support for Israel. As far as South Africa is concerned, okay, this is not a question of funding. Obviously, South Africa deals with the United States of America on a different level, and the US with South Africa and many other countries around the world. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are funding South Africa. If you look at what had happened not very long ago at the African Union, where Israel wanted observer status in the African Union, it's the South African government that put out the objection, and this is the reason why Israel was not accepted, because they are not a country in Africa, but what do they want in Africa? And this is a problem you'll find across the whole of Africa where Israel is trying to get a foothold. So that in no way would it affect us in any way whatsoever.
So, my question is, you mentioned the term Zionist. So, what is a Zionist? What religion are they Jews? But are they like a different type of Jew? Yeah. Thank you.
Zionist is a political movement. It's completely different than religion itself. Religion is something and Zionist is something else. But the majority of Zionists are Jewish, but that does not mean that each Jewish are Zionists, okay? So our problem is with the Zionist movement because they are occupation colonialism movement. We are not have a problem with the religion itself, okay? So there is a lot of family in Palestine. Palestinian family are mixed religion also. So again, the problem is not religion. Zionist is a political movement, occupation movement, okay? The Zionists start as a movement in Europe, and it was at the beginning of Zionists, if you read about Zionists, they was not even agree which country they will occupy. They have 4 places at the beginning, and they did not decide which one. 2 places was in Africa, and 1 was in North America, and the 4th place, it was Palestine. And at the beginning of Zionist movement, they sent Zionists for all these 4 places to choose which one is more suitable for them to colonialism. So it's not about religion, it's about colonialism movement.
Okay, I see there's a few hands. We are obviously rushed. We've got another engagement at the university. So if we could just 5 minutes, please.
Hello, everyone. My question is, you'd mentioned before that people like didn't hesitate in supporting Ukraine against the war that was going on. Not that you can speak for everyone's like decisions and all that stuff, but like, why do you think that people find it difficult to support to be like more active in supporting the Palestinians against what's going on?
I think the European people have feeling the guilty of what they had done against the Jew. And some of them, they connected Israel as a Jewish state, so they feel afraid from speaking about that, so they will be calling that they are anti-Semitic. They feel guilty about all what they had done against Jewish. And of course, what they do against Jewish is completely wrong, and no one will accept it. But because you have made the Jewish victim, it's not okay to accept that they become criminals and make us victim, okay? It's like when, I will make it more simple. If a person was raped when he was a child and he grew up, does he have the right to rape other children because he was raped when he was a child? It does not make sense. You feel sympathy for him for what he had suffered, but the one that's supposed to punish is the one who make the crime against him, not other children who does not have anything with the crime that is happening against him. It's exactly this situation. But because Europe feel guilty about that, this is first. Second, that Europe, they are the one who established, especially UK Kingdom and America, they are who established Israel as a colonialism state inside the Middle East to serve their colonialism and to serve for their goals inside the Middle East.
I think we'll take one more. Yes.
My first question is, are Muslims allowed to make Salah in Masjid al-Aqsa?
Muslims and Christians have a problem of arriving to the place of where they're supposed to pray, especially in holidays or in Ramadan or such thing. Muslims from West Bank and from Gaza are not allowed to enter to Jerusalem because of their identity card, and so They can't arrive to pray in Al-Aqsa. Sometime in Ramadan, they will allow it for men more than age 45, sometime more than 50, to enter just in a Friday day to pray. Also the same for our Christians from the West Bank and Gaza are not allowed to enter to Jerusalem to celebrate Easter, for example, or to make pilgrim. They need, as the Muslim, they need a special permission, and most of the time they do not get it. So also Christian have also from Gaza, they can't go to West Bank to celebrate Christmas. So Muslims and Christians are finding very, very difficult to move from one place to another. So this is affect how they can practice their praying inside the churches or inside Al-Aqsa Mosque.
I think we'll take one final question. One final question.
Greetings, everyone. The question that I wanted to ask is, what sort of change do the political parties bring in Palestine while fighting for colonization?
As we said, our political party, they have different point of view about how to fight. In 1994, some of them thought that they have a peace agreement with Israel, and it was a temporary peace agreement for a few years, and it's supposed to be after that to continue the peace agreement. Israel started the peace agreement and they did not continue, and they stopped. So they make these parts of political party in the middle, does not know what to do exactly. So some people go back to fighting, but even that you need to understand that we does not have weapons, really weapons. We does not have supporting. We does not have a border that are open for other countries, so we can bring weapons. If anyone they found anything with him, he will be in jail for a long time. Some of our prisoners are in jail for more than 40 years now. Some of them are having cancer. Some of them are in isolation for long year. I know that you know this island, Robinson called? Yeah, where Nelson Mandela was there. All the story that you're hearing about what they was facing, the same thing is still continuous in Palestine for our prisoners. Few just before less than 1 month, we lost one of our prisoners, Khadr Adnan, by hunger stroke. And we have other prisoners that could be die in any moment. They need immediately medical help. So political party, each one are working in a different way, but what they are doing is less than what we supposed to have in Palestine. It's not easy. We are under a big apartheid system. It's very racist. It's very also violence. And normally in each day, at least one of us is killed by this regime, and at least one of our homes are demolishing in daily basis. So it's not as easy as you think, and it's not something that I would like any one of you to say, to live in it. Our children, for example, are arrested from, some of them are arrested from age 4 and 5 years old. And this is crazy to arrest the children in these ages. Killing, they don't care about the ages of the people who are killing, and you just look to the ages of the people who was killed in Gaza this week, and you see how many of them was children and women without any reason. So the difficulty is so hard, more than you can imagine. Even in Jerusalem, they have through years they try to kidnap our children, and as a family, we lost some of our members in the kidnapping, and some we was able to save them. So we grow up in a very difficult situation that I would not wish to anyone to see even 10% from what we live in. I hope that you will never see anything like what we've seen, or to